Good morning, students. Welcome to the online class for Standard 10. Today we'll discuss the extracts from the chapter Long Walk to Freedom, which is written by Nelson Mandela. So, there are 19 extracts. What you have to do? You have to write down these things in your classwork copy, and you can write down the extracts, the first line only. No need to write down the whole paragraph. So you can write down the first line, and from there you can write down the questions and answers. And let's see what the first number is. 10th May dawned bright and clear. For the past few days, I had been pleasantly besieged by dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. So this is the first extract. You can write down the first line. So if it's very lengthy, so the extracts are very lengthy, so you just write down the first line, or you just put a dot there after writing the first line, and the last some words you can also quote. Okay, so let's come to the questions. The 10th May was significant on South African soil because it was the dash day by international leaders. It was the inauguration day which was attended by the international leaders. The world leaders were coming to South Africa to pay their dash before the inauguration, to pay their respect. So these things are there in the extract. You have to find out from there and write down. It was the inauguration of South Africa's first democratic racial government. Is it true or false? It's false. It's not racial government. Okay. So it was the inauguration of South Africa's first democratic government. Find the synonym of launching a military operation from the extract. It's a besieged. Second, from the extracts, the ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union Buildings in Pretoria to non-racial government. So what the answer will be, let's see. The ceremony took place in the lovely sandstone dash formed by the Union Buildings in Pretoria. The answer you can get from the extract, it is amphitheatre. It was the site of a dash gathering of different colors and different nations. So it was the site of a rainbow gathering. Rainbow means colorful. So different color people and from different nations people gathered there. So it was looking like a rainbow. For decades, the African soil had been the seat of white supremacy. True, false? It's true. The Britishers, they ruled over South Africa. Find the synonym of convention from the extracts. And what the word is? Gathering. Third number. On that lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Janani to Republic and its people. So what the questions are? Let's see. Janani was the daughter of Das, Nelson Mandela. Das was sworn in as the first deputy president. So who was sworn in as the first deputy president? You can see there in the extract it is given Thabo Mbeki. Mandela pleased to obey and uphold the constitution. True or false? Yes, correct, true. Give a synonym, means same meaning word of oath from the extract. It's place. You also take place in the morning assembly, isn't it? Let's see the fourth number. To the assembled caste in the watching world, I said. So from there to the portion up to victory for justice, for peace and for human dignity. The extraordinary human disaster that Mandela was mentioned in is the policy of DAS. It is apartheid system. So which brought discrimination, which created a gap, and where the black people, the African natives, they were treated inhuman. They were not considered as human beings. So, and this is the what is that policy? It was the apartheid system. The speaker wished to refer to the victory of a common victory for Das, for peace and for human justice. So here who is the speaker? Yes, Nelson Mandela. He wishes to refer to that. This is the victory of what? This is the victory for, here you can get it in the last paragraph, last line, victory for justice. Justice, peace, and human dignity. The speaker called the victory as a common victory because the entire world was against the policy of apartheid. Definitely correct, because the whole nations from the world, so they boycotted this South Africa because of this apartheid system. They were against this one. Give an antonym. Antonym means opposite of common from the extract. It will be distinguished. 5 number. We have at last achieved our political emancipation to so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. So let's see what the extracts are. The African people have at least achieved their political emancipation. Mandela wished that let reign on this beautiful land. Let what reign? What rule over this beautiful land? Freedom. The people of South Africa have got freedom from the policy of apartheid. Is it true or false? True. What is the synonym, same meaning word for the word subjugation from the extract? It is emancipation. 6 number. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters, and troop carrier rode in perfect formation over the Union buildings. So from there to fairly elected. So let's see what the questions are. There was a huge dash of South African jets, helicopters, and troop carriers over the Union building. What the answer will be? You can get it from the paragraph, that extract. It is demonstration. It was a demonstration of the military's dash to democracy, loyalty. The military showed their loyalty to the democracy, to the government. According to the speaker, it was the demonstration of military's bravery. False. Military's loyalty. It is not bravery. Give synonym, same meaning word for glorious. It is spectacular. 7 number. One moment before the highest generals to new South African flag, the salute of the general signified loyalty to democracy and dash of the new government. So recognition. So they recognized this new government. Finally, a dash of Impala jets left a smoke trail of black, red, green, blue, and gold of the new South African flag. So what the answer is? You can get it from the extract. It is trail. 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 The generals saluted Nelson Mandela and displayed their loyalty to the newly installed democratic government. Correct. But if it would have been under the apartheid system, so what they would have done? They would have arrested him. They would have imprisoned him. So, but now Nelson Mandela was saluted. He was shown respect, and they placed for their. They took oath. They took place to be loyal to the government. So it is true. D number, find the meaning of the word a line or pattern in the shape of V. So what it is? It begins with C. It is chevron. Next, the day was symbolized for me to know the words by heart. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of the dash anthem, national anthem. The group didn't know the dash of the old anthem lyrics, the wordings. The inauguration was special because a long era of suppression had come to an end. True, false? It's true. Give a synonym of perception. So it is vision. 9 number. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed from there to dark-skinned people of their own land. So what the questions are? Let's see. The new government was based on a democratic setup. The previous government of the whites had racial over domination over the blacks of South Africa. On the day of the inauguration, Nelson Mandela was overwhelmed with a sense of history. Yes, correct. Find out the meaning of the word a period of 10 years. Yes, decade. Centuries is 100 years. Let's see the 10 number. The structure they created to the portion up to regardless of the color of their skin. The whites had created such structure that formed the dash of most harsh and inhuman societies, formed the basis, the foundation, basis of In the last decade of 20th century, the policy of das was uprooted. What was been abolished? What was been uprooted? It was apartheid system. In the last decade of 20th century, a new non-racial government was installed as a recognition of the rights and freedom of all people, whether blacks or white. So it is true, correct. Find the synonym, similar meaning of the word cruel. It is inhuman. 11 number. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifice to the words like what their sacrifices had wrought. The day of inauguration of the democratic government in South Africa can never be counted or repaid. The long and noble line referred to the African das who sacrificed their lives for freedom before him. It's the patriots. Mandela felt that he was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before him. So yes, correct. He thought that he is the totality, he is the sum of, and he paid tribute to them. Find the meaning of the word caused to happen. So it is wrought. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. From there to finer and truer than the purest diamonds. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting das in the country and its people owned. Mandela's country is rich in minerals and das that lie beneath it. What the answer is? You can get it from there. James. According to Mandela, the greatest wealth of a country is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamonds. Correct. True. Antonym of gentleness, it is brutality. 13. It's from these comrades in the struggle to the portion he who conquers that fear. So in this paragraph he talks about the how he felt, how these people sacrificed their life, what is that courage, meaning of courage. Mandela learned the meaning of courage from his das like Oliver Tambo's, from his comrades. The brave man is not be who doesn't feel afraid, but he who does that fear, but he who conquers, wins that fear. As a young man, Mandela had never seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. Is false. What is the antonym opposite of resist? It is resilience. 40 number. No one is born hating another people. From there to the sentence, the last lines are that can be hidden but never extinguished. So he talks about love and hate here. Love is a natural feeling, whereas hate is very difficult to learn, and people learn hate. So he said, why not learn how to love? Love comes more naturally to the das than its opposite, human heart. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. So a man is good inside, but sometimes it happens that he hides it, sometimes he keeps it hidden, but it can never be extinguished. According to Mandela, one must learn to kill because he can be taught to save. It's false. Find the synonyms, same meaning word of twinkle, glimmer. 15 number, let's see what the questions are. In life, every man has twin obligation, from there to a brother, father and a husband. In life, every man has twin obligation. Obligation to his family first, and secondly obligation to his das, people, community, society, country. Okay. In South Africa, a man of color was attempted to leave as a das was punished and isolated. As human beings are, as a human being was punished and isolated. In South Africa, it was impossible to fulfill the twin obligation because of an undemocratic government. Correct. Because of the apartheid system, the black people were they couldn't exercise their freedom to perform these duties. They couldn't do a duty as their duty or that responsibility to the society. Neither they can do as a family man. What is the synonym of destined? Inevitable. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion. So from there to the freedom not to be obstructed by in a lawful life. So what did the speaker realize about his childhood freedom? So what he thought, that childhood freedom was only an illusion. When did the speaker begin his hunger for freedom? So when the speaker as a young man discovered that his freedom had already been taken from him, and he began to hunger for freedom. So what was the concept of his freedom as a student? As a student, he wanted freedom only for himself, the transitory freedom of being able to stay out at night, read what he pleased, and go where he chose. What did the speaker want as a young man? As a young man in Johannesburg, he yearned to the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving his potentiality, of earning his keep, of marrying and having a family. He wanted the freedom not to be obstructed in a lawful life. 17 number. But then I slowly saw that not only was I not free, but my brothers and sisters were not free. From there to the greater hunger for the freedom of my people. So what are the answers? Questions, let's see. With time, what did the speaker see in his country? With time, the speaker saw that no one was free in his country. Freedom of everybody was curtailed. It was taken away. Freedom of the people like him, of that color. So it was taken from him. When did his hunger become the greater hunger for freedom? When he joined the African National Congress, his hunger for his own freedom became the greater hunger for the freedom. Who is the speaker here? Nelson Mandela. What was his desire? He wanted freedom for his people who were leading an inhuman life under the undemocratic government in South Africa. What did he do to achieve his mission? So Mandela joined the struggle for freedom by joining African National Congress. 18 number. It was this desire for the freedom to the part all of my people wear the chains on me. How was the life of the speaker animated? His desire for freedom of his people to live their life with dignity and self-respect animated his life. How did his desire transform him? His desire for freedom transformed him from a frightened young man to bold one, from a law-abiding attorney to a criminal. So there are many other examples given there. You can cite it. How did it affect his family? His struggle for freedom turned a family-loving husband into a man without a home. So he was isolated from there. He was sent to jail. So he couldn't perform his duties towards the family as a son, as a brother, as a husband, as a father. So he couldn't do that. Why could the speaker not enjoy the limited freedom? The speaker couldn't enjoy the limited freedom for himself because his own people were chained. He wanted equality and freedom for all. 19 number, the last one. I knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. From that part to narrow-mindedness. Who are the oppressor and oppressed here? The white government of South Africa is the oppressor, and the colored people of the country are the oppressed. According to the speaker, what should an oppressor be liberated from? He should be liberated from hatred, prejudice, and narrow-mindedness. According to the speaker, when is a person truly free? According to the speaker, a person is truly free if he doesn't take away someone else's freedom. What is the common loss of both, that oppressor and oppressed? According to the speaker, Nelson Mandela, the oppressed and the oppressor alike are robbed of their humanity. Away from another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow-mindedness. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom. Just as surely I am not free when my freedom is also taken away from me. So the oppressed and the oppressor alike are robbed of their humanity. So these are the extracts. I hope you have understood. So you will write down the question and answers in your copies, and we will do the question answer of the chapter in the next session. Thank you.